What makes a good baker? Ooh, there's a good question. I think just somebody that really wants to bake. I mean, if you're really into anything, you just get really dedicated to it and just plow into it. And to a certain extent, being a scientist, I like to experiment, push things, try things a little bit different, see how they wrecked, and then kind of learn from that and kind of weave your way and play around, have fun. We're making cherry cordials for Christmas time. Well, we make them actually year-round now. So we got our cherries out drying. She's got some fondant she made. She'll be melting the fondant, dipping the cherries in the fondant, and then chocolate. Grandma told you just throw paraffin in. You don't want to throw paraffin in. Then, well, yeah, that was the 1950s. That's how they worked around not having to temper chocolate. They would throw paraffin in with the chocolate and dip your Buckeyes. That's fine. That was good for the 50s, but now you want to use really a premium chocolate and don't want to put paraffin, which is wax, into your chocolate. Okay, then you got to take the next step. You have to temper your chocolate. My close knit of friends, we would basically get together every Friday, and we would take a cookbook, and just open it up. That's what we're going to make today, and that was our kind of Friday night fun thing to do. So we were experimenting all the time, trying something that we never even heard of. I always like to call it an aha moment. You go to typically a 3 or 5 day class. The instructor is showing you how to do something, blah, 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 blah. And then you realize, oh, that's so obvious. Why didn't I think of that? It's just constantly from different techniques to all kinds of subtle and major things. Just learning from other people's experience where they've had their aha moments. They did something and learned something, they're passing on. That's what I like to do. I like to pass on my information. That's why I like to teach. Some people come in with incorrect preconceptions, misunderstood something, and you got to be able to bend them around and show them. I've learned things from students too. It's kind of funny because, like when you go to chef school, they teach you certain things. There's always going to be 1 or 2 people that screw up or don't pay attention and do something, and like it messes up. But sometimes that messed up, well, that's an interesting new effect. How'd you do that? Oh, okay, remember I told you to turn it upside down. You left it, okay, now it's all dribbly different, but that's a cool effect. Baking from the chocolate perspective is people using Dutch versus un-Dutch cocoa. And the difference is in alkalinity, and that's going to make a big difference in the loft, your cake, whether your crumb's going to really rise or not. I think confection, actually, if you get into it, I can't say it's totally more different because there are technical sides of baking. You have to do it correct depending on what kind of dough and how you properly raise it and what it's, just all doughs are not at all the same and they're treated differently. So there is a whole technical side to proper baking. In confection, it's a lot more science though. And you might slap me for saying more science, different science, because it really has to do with material science, because you're dealing with sugar and you're dealing with cacao. And sugar is a pain in the neck too. Sugar has very interesting characteristics, both chocolate and sugar. And then when you combine them together, it's fun, it's fascinating, but it truly is scientific. And the nice thing about confection, it is scientific. A lot of people want shortcuts. When I first started, I thought, oh, who cares about 92, 94, 96, that should be good enough. And then you do it and you realize that, oh, this didn't work, it's all bloomed. Well, maybe 92 is important. You come to realize that, that there's science in it, just like water. Water freezes at 32 degrees. You can't show me frozen water at 40 degrees. It doesn't exist. Ice melts at 32 degrees. And likewise, when we cool down, you can't show me liquid water at 20 degrees because water freezes at 32. 32 is the melting point for water. 92 is the melting point for beta crystals. So the point is, you got to learn. If you can try and cheat, you can try and skip process, but it'll get you in the end. You got to do it right. So the point is, if you're really interested in working with chocolate, a lot of people kind of mess around a little bit, realize, well, this isn't working, then they'll take a class or they have mistakes. They do things almost correct. There is some misinformation out there. People will follow some instructions that are incomplete, and then it blooms and they're all frustrated and they think they have bad chocolate, and it's like, no, it's just you left out, you didn't do it quite right. You got it almost there, but not quite right. Like some people think you just need to cool it to 92 and then it's in temper. No, then you have to agitate it in order to create the beta crystals. I went through a chocolate tasting program to actually properly taste. I do chocolate evaluations, and it takes basically 8 to 12 minutes to evaluate one chocolate to do it properly. The point is there's lots of characteristics of chocolate, very fine points. We got to put out like, I don't know, 500 truffles a day, 600 a day. It really varies because we do a lot of handwork. So you spend a bunch of time doing all the handwork. You didn't finish the truffle, but then the next day you finish off 800 pieces. And then we use it in a rover, so we're doing 1,500, 2,000 at a time running through the rover. So it's hard to say per day how many we produce, but we're doing quite, this time of year we're very busy, so we're just working our buns off. People don't realize their ovens aren't exactly what they think they are, so they'll try and bake cookies, cakes, bread, whatever, and it doesn't turn out, or it burns, or it takes too long. They should check their oven temperature. Actually, we make bark, we make all kinds of stuff. Toffee and all, so that has to be broken up and bagged up, labeled. Internationally, everybody has their version of the FDA. So what's legally chocolate? Like in our country, United States, in order to be chocolate, it must be 100%. It must be a cocoa butter product, period. No other tropical fats can be added to it. Now you go to other countries, go to Sweden, and they don't care. You can call it chocolate if it's made with palm kernel oil. Go to Britain, you're allowed to have up to 5% of tropical fat, which, like what they do for Cadbury, it makes it a softer chocolate. So like I said, different countries have different rules. We're working a lot with sugar and chocolate. We still have cream and butter and all. But the point is we have a much lower chance of food contamination, but we're still very much aware of that because, like I say, we're making truffles that's going to sit around for weeks and weeks. You don't want bacteria and fungus growing. What they've also realized now is in that conching process, the flavor molecules transfer from the cocoa bean particles to the sugar molecules where it's released quicker and you get a better flavor profile. So the longer you conch it, it also makes it taste better, faster. It improves the characteristics of the chocolate taste. I'm a scientist, I really like technical things.